This article was supposed to be spoken regarding my own mother language. However, I thought that I needed to speak this in English because it literally reaches many other users of the website. And I would like to talk about TEDx, and this topic was actually, it came to my mind because I've read the Inverting the Pyramid and some tweets by Mr. Jonathan Wilson, precisely one that a person sent to him regarding a tactical position which was supposed to be a 334, a, a Hungarian 334 back in the 35, in the year 35 of the past century. However, although Jonathan Wilson said that he was surprised that Hungary actually was playing 3-3-4 back in the day, he was actually wrong. It was not a 3-3-4. It was a 3-3-4. However, it was not what Hungary used to play. It was literally a column made by Maurice Pefekor, a French colonist, one of the best of all time, which actually introduced the 3-3-4. And the journalist who actually translated the column, I believe Maurice posted it on Layout or Parissois. Parissois. He actually tried to replicate the French virus side within the 3-3-4 formation, and Jonathan Wilson actually thought that it was a Hungarian formation back in the day, and it actually was not. Impressively, it was not. Therefore, I read his book, and his book is actually very wrong regarding tactical formations, although it received, I believe, some awards and many other things regarding prestigious prestigious things. However, his book has many awkward words. Even this tweet is actually wrong. What I'm trying to say is that tactical formations which are actually shared in the internet is are mostly wrong. Why I'm trying to say this? Because the history of football is actually not very well researched compared to the history of the Second World War or the First World War. And if I'm trying to tell the very correct journey of the history of statics, it's gonna take a while. However, I'm actually impressed how many books actually try to pretend that they know something. I know that Inverting the Pyramid by Jonathan Wilson has a page which actually compares the Hungarian side with the English side. However, it's completely wrong. If anyone actually reads Labdarugas, which actually means football, by Gustav Schebes, he wrote this in 1955 after the defeat against Germany, the the West Germany. He actually wrote everything. And what I'm actually impressive by the book, which Wilson wrote, is that it says down below that it was from his notebook. Yeah, it was from his notebook, but it was not from this specific match. The book is actually available. Anyone can read the book. What Hungary played against England is completely different from what he wrote, and what Hungary played against Italy, the 3-0 defeat, while Italy was in their own soil, was completely different. And what was played against Brazil in the quarterfinals of the 54 World Cup in Switzerland was completely different. And what Hungary played against West Germany in the final was completely different. I see many people saying that Hungary played 4-2-4 or some aspect of 3-2-5. No, it's not true. Shebis did not have a specific side formation. It's not true. Anyone who says this is actually wrong. I'm saying this because I read his book. I read Bukovi's book. I read Istan Pluhar's book and many other books regarding the specific time, the specific moment. Hungary did not play 4-2-4. It was a completely chameleon side. It actually adapted to the opponent, and you can actually read this. You can actually take knowledge this by reading their own manager's book. That's actually impressive. How knowledge which is propagated to this day is actually completely wrong. And the history of athletics, precisely in Brazil, is also wrong because here in Brazil, I don't know worldwide, but here in Brazil, people believe that Brazil started 4-3-3. That's actually not true. 4-3-3 was a Italian tactic. After the the 28 the 28 Olympic Games regarding the 20s, which Uruguay actually eliminated Italy. It was this static was utilized in the competition. The 4-3-3. Actually, Istvan Pluha, I believe it was in 32 or 33. Hungary actually used this formation. I mean, Italy actually used this formation against Hungary. And I'm gonna post this in the thumbnail regarding also connected to the formations which Gustav Shapes used against their each opponent. 4-3-3 was actually old, so was 4-2-4 formations which we see or which we believe are actually very old, back in the 90s, because many things were actually created in the 90s, not in the 20s, not in the first 20s. I remember that people used to believe that Messi was the first false nine, and many people actually believe in this. That's not true. And to not blame to this time, I would like to take the user back to the time when Herbert Chapman died. Hugo Meisel wrote an article saying that he created the WM formation. That's actually not true. He never wrote this formation. I'm saying this because people every single time tend to believe that their own time created the specific thing, but that's not true. The WM formation regarding today's Arsenal researchers isn't even true associated to Arsenal. The false nine goes back in the day when John Goodall played for Preston North End, or when G.O. Smith played for the Corinthians when he was an amateur. What I'm trying to say is that things goes back in the day and not what we believe that it is. Neuer, I'm gonna take Neuer for instance. People believe that he revolutionary the goalkeeper position. That's definitely not true. Even goalkeepers back in the 90s used to go to the ball because they were not even they weren't even in the area to be placed. They were they were a little bit a little bit close to the fullbacks, and they used to intercept the balls that used to be played back in the day. And I remember that Lorman and Stufov, who played for Nuremberg, they were a special side for German. They actually had Kalb, Trag, and many other players. They had Schaffer after the Exodus, which occurred in Hungary. He used to do the same, and he was a German goalkeeper. So there's no way that Neuer was the first goalkeeper to do this. He used to do the same thing. And tactics, they literally changed regarding the matches. If you take a look at some clips, uh, as you can see in the channel, you will see that some formations can actually regard to 4-4-2 or 4-3-3. Even the halfbacks would come much to the side of the pitch, and they would like much more like wing backs. What we see today, it's actually impressive how people believe that tactics were were close were invented close to this day, or were invented in the present time. It's like Leonidas used to say when people asked him if he invented the bicycle kick. The bicycle kick, I must say, was first done by McKinnon in the first international match, way before Leonidas was born. Nevertheless, completing, finishing this audio, Leonidas used to say, football is way older than a hundred thousand. Sorry, not 100,000, but 100 years old. There is nothing much to create, and that is actually true. There's nothing much to create. Although, if Fabio actually managed to change some rule and some other things can actually be invented. But I actually agree with Leonidas. There's nothing much to create. If you believe that everything that, or almost everything that it is created today, you are actually taking everything regarding your own knowledge, not what is truly the history of football.